April 8th, Day 2 of the Glendale investigation, 6:05 a.m. Earlier this morning, I visited Glendale's apartment located in Bowie, Maryland. Not sure what I really expected to find, but inefficiency was the furthest thing from my mind when imagining his place. The apartment was much smaller than any other efficiency I'd ever seen, consisting of a very small 8 by 10 foot room and a small bathroom off to the side. At first glance, one would assume this was a vacant apartment by the absence of wall hangings and only a small desk and a cot for furniture. The walls had never been completed, as I could still see the drywall tape used to hide the seams, which was never covered with compound to smooth out the edges, as one does before painting. There were not even any closets, and judging from the lack of personal possessions, I assumed that Agent Glendale spent very little time there, if he spent any time there at all. I found nothing in his medicine cabinet in the bathroom, not even a bottle of aspirin or a toothbrush. So I turned my attention to the desk, and just as I suspected, there was no information to be found. It was completely empty, as if someone had just purchased it and placed it there. Making sure I left no stone unturned, I moved the desk and looked behind it, just to make sure nothing had fallen behind it, and thinking I might get lucky. On the wall, written in pencil, I found these words: "Loyal a la mort." Loyal till death? Very strange. Was this something written by Agent Glendale? Or the agency? I guess it could be just some strange graffiti written by one of the crew members responsible for the unfinished drywall work. I am not sure if this is luck more than it is a curse. Nothing is coming together for me in this investigation. Just more questions for which there may never be any answers. I sat and pondered about the possibilities of my findings in his apartment and what they really meant. Or the lack of my findings, to be quite honest. There must be another apartment that Agent Glendale used. This cannot be his real apartment. He must have set this place up just to keep this agency from finding anything should he ever go missing. It is becoming clear to me that he suspected that they would come here and search for something that he was hiding from them. This is the only explanation I could come up with to make any sense of my findings. Maybe the agency is as lost as I am, which is why they resorted to handing the case over to me. If this is true, then they are watching me like a hawk and waiting for the right moment to take what I have found and make their move to suppress whatever I uncover. Still, I can't help but think about the words I found written on the wall behind the desk. It must mean something to this case. Looking at the writing again, I noticed it was written on the tape covering the seams to the drywall. I decided to take the portion of tape off the wall, so I could have it in the future to compare to Glendale's handwriting, should I ever find anything written by him. As I began to pull the tape off the wall, I noticed the drywall move. Removing the rest of the tape, it became clear that a piece measuring 4 feet wide and about 2 feet high was just placed there and held by the tape. I removed the piece of drywall and found a small space in the wall. Jackpot! Inside the hole was a small metal box. I removed the metal box from the hole, and written on top of the metal box were the words "brotherly love." This was definitely placed by Glendale. Upon removing the box, I discovered it to be locked, so I pried it open, and inside I found a single key. Nothing else, just a key. On the key was written the number 333. What could this be to? Is this a locker somewhere or a deposit box? I was not going to find out the answers here in this apartment. So I took the key and replaced the box back into the wall, but not before taking a picture of the writing on the box itself. I'm not sure if that means anything, but if Glendale wrote it, it has to mean something. I replaced the piece of drywall back into the hole and moved the desk back into its original place. I can't let the agency know that I found anything just yet, and they are sure to come in to see if I did. They have to think I found nothing at all if I am going to be able to continue my investigation freely. So taking the key I found at Glendale's apartment and the files I took from his office, I've decided to return to my office to pore over every detail and get a better idea of what I have so far. It is 2 days into my investigation and I still have no idea who Glendale is or where to find him. So I'm hoping these files and the key will reveal something. I will continue my logs once I have made it back to my office. 36-427.